So thank you guys so much for joining our team call tonight. I have Courtney Arango. Did I say that right? Okay, on our team call. And I actually met her at New Leader Conference in California in January. And we just kind of chatted, and she had some really cool things that she did. So we were kind of bouncing ideas off each other. And I was really impressed by her because she was there as a 2-star diamond and had not been in the business very long at all. So she's a 2-star diamond. She's been coaching for 14 months and also is an SC10 All-Star. So Courtney, we're so excited to have you. And if you want to just tell us a little bit about your story before you talk, she's going to talk about a no excuse mentality. And we're excited to have you.
Thank you so much. Guys, I heard you were big bring your wine to your team call. So I'm not a drinker, but I did bring my almond milk latte in my wine glass. So there's that. But yeah, so as April mentioned, I am a 2-star diamond coach. I joined Beachbody in last March. So not this past March, but the March before that. So I hadn't had a full year when I went to New Leadership Conference, and that completely changed my business. And it was largely in part due to like just small interactions like the one April and I had just sitting at breakfast, after a workout. Little moments like that, were things that I didn't even realize were really possibilities, because when I first joined Beachbody, I didn't know everything that could come along with that. So how did I get started in this crazy thing? It is really one of those serendipitous things that happen in life for me that just fell into my lap. I am an actress, so I'm living in New York City pursuing an acting career. And I had graduated college in May of 2013. And 6 months after graduation, found myself going through a breakup with my fiance at that point of 7 years. We're about to get married in October, so we're good there. But my first year in New York was spent without him, and it was rough. So 6 months after graduation, I had gained 20 pounds, and it is really the first time in my life that I had ever been through any sort of just like body image issues. I had never really experienced that in my life. And I would say that's pretty rare for someone who is constantly dancing in front of mirrors all the time. Like, my career is all about having to be in front of other people, being judged by other people. So I was very lucky, but yeah, graduation happened 6 months later. I'm in New York, and I felt constantly like I was the overweight one when I would go to auditions. And considering that my career is pretty much all based on confidence, I knew that something needed to change. So I started getting just very focused on my nutrition, and I committed to the paleo diet for about 2.5 years. And that was successful for me, except that during that process, I found that I became really obsessive about food. I found that I was not allowing myself to be a real human being and, use my cheats and not feel guilty about it. Food became this way of like control for me. And even though I didn't have an eating disorder, it got pretty just obsessive. And it was not a way that I wanted to be living. And during that time, I showed up at my house in Miami for the holidays, and my sister had ordered a challenge pack. Pio DVDs were sitting right on the TV shelf, and I decided that I was just gonna put them in and press play every day. And during that 2 months, my life changed. I listened to Shalene. I felt beautiful. I felt like I was doing something good for myself. And little by little, yes, I was losing some weight, but I just felt my confidence coming back because I was devoting a little bit of time each day to trying to get healthy. And it was honestly not about anyone else's journey other than my own. And after I finished that program, I decided I was going to get PIO certified. So I got PIO certified, and I teach PIO live classes now. And it was about a month after I finished the program that I decided I was going to do another program because I had had such success. And this time I was going to do it with Shakeology. So I ordered the 21-day fix. And it was at that point, you know, I had been seeing my coach's transformations all over Facebook. I had been following her income victories that she was having. And so I just asked about the coaching opportunity. I had gone through a whole program without even knowing that coaching was like a legitimate option. And of course, the month that I decided to join, I literally did not know how I was going to pay my rent. So I took a huge leap of faith, spent my first 2 weeks in the business freaking out about how I was going to afford my Shakeology when the month rolled around. And the second I kind of just like gave it up and stopped worrying and just continued to follow the vital behaviors, it was like my Shakeology was paid for. So from that point on, you know, like I joined with the intention of building a business. I wasn't sure exactly what that entailed, but I knew I needed to make this work for an income. And I think because of that mentality coming in, you know, the pressure being there of really being able to just afford my rent, you know, New York is not easy. That has really played out well for my business and in terms of how I've grown. I have really just kind of stuck with this mentality that I am going to make this work no matter what. And, you know, I was able 5 months into this to quit my part-time jobs. And that has been an insane gift to myself. Insane, because I am constantly spending the day auditioning. And, you know, that is a full-time job, you know, like as an actor, that is your job. You audition to hopefully get the job, and you put yourself out there every single day over and over and over and over again. And then after all of that, I was reporting to a part-time job that just, I mean, honestly, I was working every single day, and I was working 4 part-time jobs to just get by, you know, to be able to pay my rent, buy my groceries, and there was no excess. So to be able to replace that income and regain some of my time was the absolute best thing I could have done for myself. So today I'm just going to kind of give you guys some tips on how I have created the success mentality for myself, how I have grown my business. And honestly, this isn't just stuff that comes from me in my own journey, but this has been me really tracking like what other coaches who are successful are doing to be successful. Because, you know, you get the breadcrumbs by watching the success of other coaches. It's not just about what works for you. They're already laying the groundwork. So the first thing I could possibly give you is to just stop wasting time on self-doubt. I know that is something that all of us can get bogged down into, and it's understandable. There's every reason in the world to doubt whether or not this opportunity can work for you. But the more time you spend in that self-doubt mode, the less time you are spending moving your business forward. So rather than just allowing yourself to think through every reason why this could possibly not work for you, how about you just say, no, I'm putting that on hold, and you go into action mode. Do. The more you do, the more your business is going to move forward. Number 2, always bet on yourself. Guys, we are so lucky in this business, and not many people can say this about places they work. We are so lucky that our business truly allows us to dictate our own future. Not many people have that. You know, we are our greatest assets. And the fact that we have control over what we do and don't do every single day is truly a gift when you're talking about business and earning an income. Because at the end of the day, it's your drive that's going to build that for you. Yes, we all have bad weeks. We have weeks that, like, maybe I didn't sell a challenge pack last week. I didn't move my business forward in that way. but I was productive. I did the vital behaviors. I'm laying the groundwork. Just because you have a bad day doesn't mean you don't do the work, or a bad week or a bad month or whatever it is. You know, you have the opportunity to bet on yourself. And the more you tell yourself, I am in the driver's seat, I have control over what happens in my future, the more your business is going to grow in a positive direction. All right, number 3, learn to exercise tough love. I am all about the positivity and giving yourself positive affirmations. But let's be real, there are just some moments that you got to tell yourself, like, get your ish together. Like, just freaking do it. Because, guys, I mean, sometimes seriously, inviting is like pulling teeth for me. I hate it at times. But single-handedly for me, that is where I see traction constantly. I'm not a huge, like, post on social media, get 5 challengers. Like, that's not me and that's not my business. So I have to do the behind the scenes work. And there are days that I just don't want to. So telling myself, you need to get your ass in gear, because nothing is going to happen sitting on the couch. That is the downfall of this business, is it can be really hard. If you are not in a place where you're motivated, get yourself out. Get yourself out, go work somewhere else, because guys, the couch, yes, is constantly calling our name, but nothing happens from there. You have to put yourself in a place where you are ready to work. So when I exercise tough love, I do it out loud. It's not enough to say it in here. You have to physicalize it, like get your body into action mode. That doesn't just happen here. And yes, you know, I'm saying this as an actor, a very physical person, but it works. You know, I remember at New Leadership, Bonnie like had us standing and like doing this chanting motion. And it's because so much happens when you put it into your body. So same thing, you know, exercise that tough love out loud, physicalize it, and get yourself into action mode. If something isn't working for you, then get creative and change it. It is not enough to identify the problem. You have to be willing to do something that you've never done, right? 21-day fix, if you want to get results that you've never gotten. All right, next thing, talk less and do more. Yeah, this is a big one, because I have very little tolerance to listen, like for listening to people talk about all of the things that are going wrong, when again, they're not willing to do the work, right? So all the time you spend talking about how things are going wrong is time you're taking away from finding solution. This doesn't mean do not ask for advice, but don't be the Eeyore. All right, this goes for push groups. This goes for your conversations with success partners. That's huge, guys. Don't be the Eeyore of the group. Like, you know, that person that's like constantly like draining everyone's energy. Someone's having a good day, but then you have a bad day and you're sharing it and you're just woe is me all the time and you're bringing everyone else's mojo down with you. Don't be that person. There's always a solution, and you have to get into the mindset of, okay, where is that solution? How am I going to get there? And then backtracking and figuring it out for yourself. Take responsibility. That equals liberation in your business. Giving blame is giving all your power away. The more you identify someone else as the problem, you are releasing all of your power. You are no longer in the driver's seat. You no longer have control over your business. When you take responsibility for the things that are going wrong, when you identify what part you played in that, you are all of a sudden in solution mode. You're liberating yourself from that pitfall and moving forward. All right, make good on your promises. I don't know what you guys do for training, but I know that for us, in our initial like 14-day, new coach training, we have to say to our sponsor coach how long we're willing to commit to this. So think about what that is for you, whether you did that in your training or not. How long are you willing to commit to this business? Write it down. When you've written that down, paste that in front of you and make good on that promise, okay? when things get hard, you need to be able to mourn it and move on. You know, exercise that 24-hour rule. After that 24 hours, you mourn missing that goal, whatever, you move on. And do not let yourself fall short of that date. If you're giving yourself a year, then you stick it out for a year, because you never know what is possible unless you make good on your promises. Don't allow your failures to cause you to give up, especially if it's before that date. Pursue this business. Pursue your goals with the same intent of wanting to prove someone wrong. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like when someone tells me I can't do something, I am like, what did you say? You know, like in my head, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the day that you get to watch me succeed and you have to eat those words. You know, like that's what's going on inside of me. You need to pursue this business with that same intent, because guess what? People are out there doing that. People are out there watching you announce yourself as a Beachbody coach. People are out there waiting for you to quit. And every day you stick with it is a victory. Every single day. The only way you can fail is by giving up. All right, next thing, aim to prove you can. Always be willing to try to prove you can. Your confidence will grow as you experience success. A lot of what we do and how we do it is based on where we have had success. So go find it in the areas you haven't had it. This is a big one for me, because I'm constantly focused on why it is that people are more inclined towards going out of their comfort zone, more inclined towards building confidence. And I really think that it probably has a lot to do with childhood and successes we've had, you know, growing up, like where we've been celebrated, you know, things like that. I personally grew up feeling like I could do anything. I could take on the world, and my parents would believe that I could, because I would try. And if I failed, like, I would keep trying. That's just the kind of kid I was. And the fact that I had my parents reinforcing that honestly made me feel like I was successful. And when I was having success, they were right there to celebrate that. Not everyone has that kind of upbringing. Not everyone has those, you know, like victories growing up. So it is your job right now as an adult to go and find those people, your tribe right here. Those people that are going to celebrate you, that are going to help you feel confident and important and worthy, so that you can constantly aim to prove that you can do more. The only way we do more is if we feel confident enough to try and see success in those areas where we once thought we couldn't or were not capable of achieving. The next thing is to identify what makes you nervous and do that. So this is a great one, because if it scares you, yep, that's like hands down what you need to be doing. For me, for the longest time, because I worked in a fitness studio, I was so nervous about inviting fitness instructors. Like, I was convinced 100% that they already had their thing, that they didn't need Beachbody, but that's not our job to decide. What if they do need this opportunity? What if they do want to be able to work from home? What if they want to be able to be with their kids? Like, you don't know what is happening for other people. So stop deciding what the outcome of that conversation is going to be before you've even had it. And my point of saying this is, I finally made a decision. Okay, I'm going to invite a fitness instructor every single day to the coaching opportunity. I'm going to do the thing that scares me. And you know what happens? You come out of those situations realizing, oh, I survived. I'm still alive. That wasn't the scariest thing in the world. Okay, so what? They're not joining my team. Or, hey, okay, they're joining my team. Like, either way, you survive it. And now that thing that you thought was scary isn't really a big deal. You have to go outside of your comfort zone in order to have success in this business. It's just kind of a must-do thing. It's like a prerequisite for what we do. You know, it's inevitably going to happen if you are aiming bigger, if you're dreaming bigger and you really want to see those goals happen for yourself. What if we decided every single day that doing the vital behaviors was easy, right? Sometimes they just feel hard. Getting out of bed, doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology, inviting, celebrating coaches. Oh my gosh, that's such hard work, right? It isn't. We all know that it isn't. But there are days that it's just like pulling teeth. It's rough. I get it. But you know what's rough? Fighting cancer. That's rough. Dealing with sickness. We have it pretty damn easy, guys. So if we just decided that the vital behaviors were easy every day, how different would your business be? Ask yourself that. How different would your business be if you just woke up and decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna do these things that are not that hard? You just do them. It wouldn't be a question. All right, number 8, stay connected to both sides of your why. So we've all identified our why, you know, why we're in this, what we're pushing for, why we don't quit. But I say stay connected to the other side of that too. What was Beachbody like before you joined? I mean, what was your life like before you joined Beachbody? Were you, like me, you know, struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, having to ask your parents for part of your rent because you couldn't come up with it? Were you unhappy, depressed? Were you struggling to put food on the table for your kids? Yes, it is so valuable to know what it is that you're pushing for, but it's also so valuable to recognize and identify the life you are never willing to go back to. For me, I will never get to a place in my life where I go back to working a part-time job and building someone else's dream. My freedom is worth too much to do that. All right, number 9, go get it. Visualize what you want and believe with your whole heart that you can have it. Go get it, because why not you, right? Other people have success in this. Why can't that be you? Maybe you feel like it comes easier to other people, and again, that probably has to do with childhood, but using things like all of what we've talked about so far, that can change your mentality, that can change your business. You are the only thing in your way. You are the only person that gets to decide whether or not you have success. And that all is based in what you choose to do, what you choose to do after this call, what you choose to do a week from now, what you choose to do in the moments that you don't want to. All of that is what determines whether or not you're successful. All right, last thing, but most important thing, absolute most important thing, is respect yourself. Stop allowing other people to diminish you. If you want others to respect you, then you need to be willing to show them that you mean business. That means cutting out what doesn't serve you guys. It's huge. It's a hard thing to do because some of those people are closest to us. Some of those people that we care so much about are the ones telling us why this will never be successful. And I speak firsthand when I talk about this because my fiance, not supportive of this opportunity at all when I first joined, at all. In fact, I just found out a few weeks ago as he was sitting here talking to one of my coaches, telling them how possible all of this is, that he was banking on me not succeeding. He was hoping that I wouldn't succeed just to be able to tell me, I told you so. Just to be able to affirm that this is a scheme. Just to be able to say you invested your money in something that wasn't worth it. Some of those people are the ones closest to us. And you know what has to happen? You need to tell them, if you're not willing to cut them out completely, you need to buck up and you need to say, you know what, just like I did with him. I have already chosen to do this. I've already taken the step. And if you don't have anything nice to say about it, then I need you to keep your thoughts and opinions to myself. Your support is important to me, but if you're not willing to give it, then I'd rather not hear anything about it. If you don't demand that respect for yourself, no one is going to give it to you. That is your job. This is your business. You get to do with it what you want. And if others are not willing to listen to you, guys, you have to cut out what doesn't serve you. How important is your why? How important is what's waiting on the other side of this opportunity? Because to me, that is so important that I'm not willing to have anyone that doesn't support me in this and lift me up, you know. And it's not that they have to join you. It's not that they have to purchase a challenge pack. They don't need to be on your team. They don't need to be in a challenge group. But at the end of the day, if you are sharing passionately, if your heart is really in this, everyone who loves you is going to support you. Everyone is going to see the difference this is making in your life. And for me, if they're noticing that and they're still choosing to speak down on me in this opportunity, that's hurtful. That's hurtful, and that's not something I want around me. So that's what I got for you tonight. I hope this is helpful.
Yes, I loved it. And it's just the kick in the pants that we all need. So it was so, so good. And I hope that your team hears that spiel from you too, because it's perfect. And especially this week, you know, we've got a lot of people really pushing for Star Diamond qualification for Summit this week. And, you know, a lot of people that want to be Diamond next week. So it's kind of the exact kick in the pants at the exact time that we needed it. So thank you for reminding me that you were hosting our call tonight. But yeah, I just loved it. I sat here and like shook my head the whole time because I'm so much a tough love person. That's like my language. Like, girl, don't make excuses, just do it. And so that was perfect. So does anybody have any questions or any thoughts or anything that you want to share or anything? Because I mean, I just think that this is such a great time to kind of talk things out, that either things you're struggling with or things that you want to ask people's opinion on. So whether or not it's something that we touched on tonight or not, I'd love for it just to be a kind of open forum so we can kind of get some ideas flowing. And the chat was not really any questions. It was just us like going, preach, girl, everything you said. So you don't really need to go through there. There was no questions. We talked the whole time while we're on, but we promise we were listening. So for you, how long did it take you to hit Diamond and then like your Star Diamond rank? And what would you say were kind of like the secret to you being successful so quickly?
All right. Well, for me, I hit Diamond 4 months into my business. And I would say a huge part of that, I was on, so I'm in the downline of Becca Robinson. And I know April knows Becca, but for me, we had Meredith Now talk on one of our calls. And that call just completely changed my business because she talked about discount coaches and how that can further your business. And when I realized how to sign discount coaches, my business completely changed. I pretty much, like, my team I have very few customers on my team. I would always prefer to sign someone up with the discount available to them going forward. You know, if they're going to quit, they're going to quit as a coach or a customer. So I am just one in general that, like, I would rather give people the option for the discount from the get-go. So I would say that was largely a part of my success. Now, obviously, yes, your rank is not going to rest on discount coaches because they're going to come and go. But having them there was really great for padding. And when I had the ones that were consistent and wanted to continue with their Shakeology every month, like, they were constant. They were always there. So that was big. I got really lucky with how I ended up, you know, I ended up having, my first two challenge groups. My first one that I ran was a 2-month challenge group, and I will never do that again. But out of that challenge group came my first rock star. And right after that came my second. And my second rock star was the one to go diamond first. But the two of them hooked up as success partners. I decided I was going to step into leadership, run a push to emerald, and really just get those two moving. And that really, the two of them just latched onto each other. Having success partners, I think, is really, really important in order to move forward. So, their energy just completely drove. They basically rank advanced to emerald at the same exact time. My downfall was that I obviously didn't know this because both of them started as challengers. I didn't know they were going to explode, and they ended up on the same leg. And actually, I had a third challenger become a rock star also on my right leg. So, I definitely was, I'm one that struggled with my left, and I'm still struggling with my left. My fiance luckily ended up on my left leg, and my second CBC is on his weak leg. So I have my second CBC and my fiance grounded and anchored on my left, hopefully to balance out my right. So in terms of pushing for 2-star, in terms of aiming past that success, my first diamond happened because she wanted it. She wanted it. I worked really hard to show my team the vision that I had caught hold of very early on. And I stopped allowing my upline to lead everything. I just took ownership of my team. I wanted them to view me as a leader. And I think that was also really helpful. My second diamond, I built my fiance to diamond. And guys, that was the amount of time I did it in was a lot. And I don't recommend that kind of it was right at the end of the year. I knew I wanted to go to New Leadership Conference. I had one other coach that could have gone diamond, but they didn't. They lost their fire in the hard months, and I was just unwilling to miss that. So through hell and high water, I think I hit Success Club 10 in November, in the first week, and I focused so hard on how to build my fiance to diamond. So I just did, those last 2 weeks before qualification started in order to hit New Leadership Conference, I was not talking to anyone. I fell off the planet Earth, and I was just inviting a freaking mad woman. And sometimes that's what you have to do. When it's go time, it's go time. But I will say, I will never get to a point in my business again where I want that kind of pressure on myself. So the way to avoid that is to work on it early on. Hit Success Club in the first 15 days, period, end of story. Don't put the pressure on yourself. Set your non-negotiable, and you work like hell for that, so that when those push moments come, you're pushing, but it's not at the expense of your own health.
Yep, I know all about that. And I know we have a lot of girls pushing for elite this year, so I'm hoping that they are not acting like a crazy woman like I was November 23rd or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable because especially for elite, thank God they moved it. You just have to have your 5-star in place, the points in place 1 week during December. But prior to that, it's crap, the holidays are here and I'm pushing till the very last day of December. That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Front load, because you guys have if you're working towards that goal, it's all about recruiting now. It's all what happens in the beginning of the year so that you can lay the groundwork for your coaches to take off in these next few months.
Right. So, well, that was awesome. Does anybody else have any questions or anything? Okay, well, guys, don't go anywhere because I do want to, after Courtney hops up, oh, Debbie wants to know where in New York you are.
I'm in Manhattan, so Washington Heights. I was in Queens, which I loved, but
Where are you?
my fiance, now I'm in Manhattan.
Debbie, where in Queens? Are you stalking her?
Astoria. If you're around, come take my class. I teach in Astoria at 12 on Sundays. Come take my class. Introduce me. Introduce yourself to me.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, guys, stay on because I'm going to do a quick recap for our push group that starts on Monday. But, Courtney, thank you so much. This was really awesome. And I know so many coaches will benefit from watching this recording as well. So, thank you so much, girl.
You're so welcome.
And I will see you Sunday. I will not forget.
Alrighty.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.